is CBS News Miami.
And good afternoon, I'm Jim Berry. Welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Here's a look now at today's top stories. And off the top at 4 p.m., a North Miami Beach home riddled with bullets. And this afternoon, the family living inside that home is sharing the very scary moment when they heard the gunfire break out. We get the very latest on this now from CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner.
Take a look at the yellow house behind me. My photographer Brian is going to zoom in for me, and you'll see that there are around 10 bullet holes in this house, whether it's the windows or the walls. And I'm told this is not the first time this has happened here. Gunfire woke Mercedes Quintero up Monday morning.
It was around 4:30. I was deeply asleep, and I just heard a sound like fireworks.
She lives next to this home, covered in bullet holes.
I would like it not to be next to my door or anybody's door, actually. But we would like the city to do something about it.
This man did not want to be identified, but his family lives in the yellow house.
I'm just happy that nobody got hurt.
He said he's not sure who shot the house or why.
I don't know what they could possibly be going after. Because sometimes, when you're trying to prosper in life, people hate. So things like that happen. But
North Miami Beach police confirmed that they are investigating a shooting, but said they have not located a victim. Just a few minutes south of this home, another scene in North Miami. This car at the center of the investigation. North Miami Beach police said they cannot confirm if the two scenes are connected.
That was Morgan Reiner reporting. Meantime, police make an arrest in a deadly hit-and-run crash. It happened last night on East 8th Avenue and 47th Street. Police tell us the victims were husband and wife, identified as 87-year-old Julio Hernandez and 84-year-old Manuela Hernandez. Officers arrested 47-year-old Suzette Calcines. She is charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide and also leaving the scene. We'll have much more on this story coming up tonight on CBS News Miami at 5 o'clock.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
All right, taking a live look outside after all that rain we had last week and even yesterday. A much drier start of the work week. That's good news. Today, anyway, let's find out if we have more from Next Weather Chief Meteorologist and Hurricane Specialist Ivan Cabrera. Ivan.
Yeah, we got a boundary, Jim, on the south side of town here, and that's going to bring us additional showers here. Temps right now in the mid-80s, not looking bad at all, but there's the moisture difference here. We got some dry air in the mid-levels here across central Florida. That eventually will make a move on us here, pay us a visit, but for now, we got plenty of moisture to deal with here, so we'll continue with showers in the forecast before this front comes in. Does turn a bit drier, but this boundary, this time of year, these fronts really don't clear that far south, and so they're going to hang out with us, that front anyway, and that's going to shift back up north, and that's going to bring us more rain heading into the weekend here. We've got some very gusty winds on the way beginning on Tuesday and heading through the rest of the week. Wind gusts anywhere from 30 to 35, so this is going to be an issue for marine conditions, but all of us will notice that. We'll start ramping that up as we head into Wednesday. This is the time of year. Dry season begins tomorrow. We get the fronts come in, and so you get these windy periods that can last for several days, and that's exactly what we have going over the next couple here, and then eventually heading into the weekend. In the tropics, relatively quiet right now. We do have an area of 20% probability of development there. That's going into Central America. This feature here looks ominous right as it's coming towards us here, but this time of year we also get a lot of winds helping us out. Here is the Next Weather Tropics tracker. You can see that wave perhaps even becoming a tropical depression, could become a named storm that's going north of the islands here, but by the end of the period things turn rather hostile for it here. Even if it does develop, it's going to get sheared apart by the weekend. Never makes it anywhere close to us here east of the Bahamas, and then from there the winds kind of just tear this apart, so that's a good setup for us here in the tropics. Forecast as we head through tomorrow, we'll have temperatures in the 70s through the morning hours. Nice respite there from the heat that we've been dealing with. Temperatures in the afternoon should make it back into the low to mid 80s, and then for the next 7 days we have more rain chances by the end of the week, but for now we're staying on the relatively drier side. Rain chances 20 to 30. I think most of the rain for the next couple of days will be across South Dade and into the Keys, where we still have that boundary there setting up, and then the front again returns on Friday, and it looks like a wet Saturday right now with rain chances up to 50%. We'll have temperatures by then a little bit cooler, though. That'll help us out, but notice the wind still gusty through the next 7 days.
Ivan, thank you very much. All new at 4 now. Governor Ron DeSantis providing updates on the state's recovery efforts from Hurricane Milton. This happened this afternoon at the SeaPort Manatee in Palmetto. The governor stated that most of the state of Florida now has electricity and is operational.
So as of 12 o'clock, since the storm hit Florida, Hurricane Milton, there have been over 3.8 million accounts restored for power. So right now, about 97% of the state is electrified and operational. There's about 369,000 that are still outstanding. We obviously had a lot of linemen staged, and if you think about it, today, standing here right now, we're less than 96 hours from when the storm fully left the state of Florida. And I know those guys got in and started working as soon as it was possible. I know Manatee and Sarasota's down. I think both are probably 90% restored. And FPL thinks by tomorrow you're going to have pretty much everybody. So that's very rapid.
And that's certainly good news. The governor also said they've unloaded close to 7 million gallons of fuel to the areas most affected by Hurricane Milton. And after the storm, President Biden toured communities damaged by the storm. He pledged full federal support. Parts of western Florida still dealing with flooding and hundreds of thousands still without power. Here's Tom Hansen with more on that just west of Tampa in Treasure Island.
Along the Gulf Coast of Florida, families are returning to this after Hurricane Milton slammed ashore. Debris, uprooted trees, and foundations where entire homes once stood.
Total destruction. This in chaos.
It's the same scene in Treasure Island, where Robin Maggio got a first look at her home after Hurricanes Helene and Milton hit.
This is horrible. I literally am speechless right now because I just drove in, I just flew in, and this is unbelievable.
Sunday, President Biden flew over St. Pete Beach, his second trip to Florida in just over a week. He spoke with storm victims surrounded by battered homes and promised $612 million in additional federal aid aimed at electric grid strength and hurricane-affected areas.
We're going to do everything we can to get power back in your homes, not only helping you recover, but to help you build back stronger.
Those in hard-hit Valrico need the help. Floodwaters have swallowed entire neighborhoods.
When you look at this, it's 50 years of memories. I know that we will rebuild. We always do. That's how our family is.
A major gas shortage is also hurting recovery efforts. About 1 in 3 stations across the state are out of gas. 37 million gallons of gas arrived in Florida this weekend, and people are desperate for it. Cars stretching for blocks at distribution centers for a free 10 gallons.
The help isn't coming fast enough, it seems. It just doesn't seem like it's coming fast enough.
And over the weekend, more than 250,000 Floridians applied for federal assistance through FEMA in one day, the most ever. Now, as we look inland, the concern of flooding remains. Rivers there are not expected to drop below flood stage through the week, and that means we don't even know the full scope of the damage from Milton yet. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Treasure Island, Florida.
Tom, thank you. Caught on camera, police need your help with a case of credit card fraud. They want you to take a good look at your screen. Now, according to investigators, the man wearing the gray T-shirt used a stolen credit card at a Home Depot in North Lauderdale. They say he swiped the card to buy a generator. Police say this happened in July. The card, they say, was reportedly stolen during a car burglary. When we come back, lifting off into the future, we tell you all about a spaceship heading to a moon in Jupiter. My scientists believe it could be a new home for humans. That's minutes away. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. With a little more than 3 weeks until Election Day, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are campaigning in the battleground state of Pennsylvania. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand has more on this from Washington.
Vice President Kamala Harris sat down for a live interview Monday with media host Roland Martin to discuss issues impacting black voters.
What I intend to do, which is saying that your medical debt cannot be on your credit score, putting $16 billion in HBCUs, having the lowest black unemployment in recent history.
Her campaign recently released economic proposals aimed at black men, a critical voting bloc for Harris.
Often the people whose policies get pushed through are the people who actually demand what they want through their votes.
The proposals include forgivable loans to Black entrepreneurs, a health initiative tackling conditions that disproportionately affect Black men, and legalizing recreational marijuana. Former President Donald Trump is also competing for their votes. A new CBS News poll shows the race essentially tied in the battleground states.
When I win on November 5th, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins.
In Arizona this weekend, Trump focused on immigration, pledging to hire 10,000 more Border Patrol agents after earlier opposing a bipartisan bill to provide more border security resources. Also on Sunday, the former president suggested using the military to go after a, quote, enemy from within.
We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Ahead of Trump's rally in California Saturday, sheriff's deputies arrested a Las Vegas man for allegedly having a loaded firearm and a high-capacity magazine at a checkpoint near the venue. A federal law enforcement source tells CBS News there's no indication this was an assassination attempt. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, it's a mission accomplished. NASA, along with SpaceX, launches the largest spacecraft it has ever built for a planetary mission. It's called the Europa Clipper. Earlier today, the heavy rocket lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center. Its destination is a moon on Jupiter called Europa. Scientists think the planet's moon might be able to sustain life. They believe it has an ocean and tides that could produce heat. The Europa Clipper is carrying instruments to test those conditions. However, do not expect that data anytime soon, because the journey between Earth and Europa spans about 1.8 billion miles. It's a long way. That's CBS News Miami's Quickcast. I'm Jim Barry. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS Miami. Thanks for watching.